Welcome in to Lioness Coaching. I wanted to stop and take a quick moment to do a 3-song download with you after a coaching session I had today. So, very quickly, I use music to motivate myself to keep me focused, whether that be the instrumentals or the lyrics. But I want to bring 3 lyrics to you, 3 songs to help you navigate your own social anxiety and maintain some self awareness. All right. So, number one was a line from Ice Cube saying, "Check yourself." All right. So, go ahead and look that song up, play the song, use it to get your motivation going. But essentially, the message was you needed to do a self inventory before you went off and committed an act that was not going to be in your best interest. And I think it's something that we can think about as professionals, especially to really do a self inventory and check yourself. When your anxiety or your fear or your ruminating is really getting in the way from you executing on the things that you want to do. Now, how do you know if that social anxiety is something that you really should pay attention to and back off of whatever that activity is provoking it? The way you know that is by gauging what the outcome will be. We hear a lot about opportunity costs, but we don't talk as much about opportunity gains. So if you're in a situation where maybe you're doing some public speaking or you're stepping up to a role that you haven't been in before, there may be some anxiety that goes along with that, some fear and some trepidation. That's okay. That's normal. Just remind yourself that you can work through it. You've survived 100% of the things that have terrified you before. You can also do this. It can help to reframe the conversation as well. So tell yourself what you're getting out of it, what's to be gained, not just what could potentially happen and go wrong, but what could go well for you. The next song on my list was from Kanye West and Jay-Z, and it's the song "Diamonds Are Forever." And in that song, Jay-Z has a phrase, and he says, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man." It's one of his most famous, and people's favorite quotes that Jay-Z says. And what does he mean by that when he says, "I'm not a business. I'm a business man"? I want you guys to stay cognizant of the fact that your personal branding is a part of your pitch towards anything. So if you're making a LinkedIn profile, if you're making a Facebook profile, if you're stepping up into new roles, anytime that you step out, if you will, you're demonstrating and showing your skills. So if you're able to perform those skills for an employer, just remember that you could also perform them for yourself as a freelancer or as an entrepreneur. So just keep in mind that even if you're working for someone else, you're consistently building personal brand awareness, personal resume awareness. I highly recommend maintaining multiple resumes, especially if you wear multiple hats. So, for instance, if you're potentially a shift lead in one position, but you're a choir coordinator in another, you're the social media manager for somebody else, having resumes tailored to those particular skill sets. So that way, if opportunities come up in those arenas, you're easily able to shop yourself out and maintain yourself as a business man. The last one is three. This is a song by Big Sean and it's featuring Drake and Kanye. And the lyric goes, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time." All right. So keeping in mind that most of the situations that terrify you will only last for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes. Most of them, not all, but most. So don't allow yourself to block yourself out of your potential opportunity gains by focusing on what potentially could be lost or what could potentially terrify you, especially if we're talking about trading opportunity gains such as brand recognition, networking, gaining skills and knowledge, and the trade-off being a few minutes of anxiety or needing to, really do a decompression after this event has occurred. So if it's tolerable for you, then I would highly suggest stepping into those things that you would rather walk away from, right? They're not necessarily required of you, but they help to push you to do things that you're not normally doing, push you out of your comfort zone, because that's where you're going to find most of the opportunities lie, just outside of your comfort zone. So those are my top 3 downloads. Hopefully those tips help you think about your lyrics a little differently, especially when you are really needed to kind of get into that game time zone. I frequently use music in that way. And I find that if I'm really able to connect with the lyrics in a way that is meaningful to me, then when I hear that song, it reminds me, oh, yes, I do need to check myself and make sure that I'm looking at this from a practical standpoint and giving reality to the situation. I do need to make sure that I understand that this moment won't last forever. I'm here for a good time. I'm not here forever, right? And then lastly, I'm a business, man. I'm not just working for a business. What other skills do I have? What ways can I shop them out? How can I best utilize all of my talents to enrich myself?